if you're joining me here today. What we're going to talk about is how to learn quickly. Now, in my career as a software engineer and in tech, things change all the time. And sometimes it's not in the most ideal ways, where you have to get up to speed in a very short amount of time. And sometimes you don't have the people that know what's going on. Sometimes you're the resident expert. And so how do you approach that in a way where you can increase the chances that you'll succeed, right? And you won't always succeed, but I'll get to that here in a second. So the first job that I had at Walmart, excuse me, I was given a project where I was going to focus on one part of it, and in the whole company, I was the only one that was doing it. So 2 weeks later, my manager comes in and asks, "Hey, how can we get this thing done, right, in this reporting system?" I'm like, "I really don't know. We should find an expert." And he stopped and he looked at me and he's like, "Well, you're the expert. You've been doing this for 2 weeks. You know the most about, of this section of this piece of software than anyone." And I was like, "Oh, that's not good." That's really not good. But it forced me to say, okay, if I'm the expert, how do I go forth? And was messy, right? But over the years, over stuff like that happening, you have the key guy that, switches companies, leaves the team, and everyone's like, okay, how do we, take over this project and get things running or keep things afloat so we hit the deadlines and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure you've had that type of situation too, where, something unexpected happens and you have to fix things, so you're fighting fires, you lose a key player, or you just, you're the expert, right? You're the one that is in charge of this thing, and how do you go forward? Well, the very quick process that I developed that's imperfect, but has worked for me and worked for me in the 14, 15 years I was in tech, was that, first off, you need to know where all the documents are, where you can do some quick research. And you don't want to get stuck in going in a rabbit hole with this. You could spend all the time doing research and get paralyzed and not actually get fixing anything or moving anything forward. But, knowing where to look for answers, and tech very commonly, Stack Overflow is where you can go and find, what's this error? How do I fix it? Or I need this type of functionality. How can I have something to start with to then modify for my own needs? So knowing where to look, whether it's a simple Google search, which is usually the first thing that works for everyone, or if it's very niched into whatever you're doing professionally, marketing, coding, server stuff, whatever, knowing that those specific sites to get help for references or for documentation is really important. So you tried that didn't help fix your problem, or you tried some things and that's not working. The second thing is to think about your network and think, who knows more about this than I do, and let's get their perspective, right? And so in tech, if say you're working on one type of web technology and you have someone else that's a little bit more up to speed with what's currently going on, maybe it's not a one-to-one match on skills, but it's the same kind of ballpark. So you can go, hey, I'm having this. And you're like, oh, well, it could be this part of the process that you need to take a look at. And like, oh, I didn't think about that. And you go, and there it is. You get it fixed, right? And I know that's very abstract. I'm trying not to bore you with specific technical details, because I know everyone here is not super into programming and stuff like I was. So we'll keep it that abstract. But you could say, if you take a business example, say you do logistics for Walmart, right? And you're really good at moving pallets across the country and into stores and all that, but now you want to break it down into doing online stuff where instead of selling a pallet of toothbrushes to a store, you're selling an individual toothbrush to a consumer, right? It's the same kind of ballpark. You know how logistics work, but there's different spots. So if the process is breaking down where, hey, we're running late on shipping these toothbrushes, you're like, well, is it, the USPS? Is it FedEx? Is it UPS? Or is it that we're not moving things more or efficiently enough in the warehouse, right? And so you could borrow from different areas. That's the point I'm trying to illustrate. You borrow from similar but not equal areas. But yeah, because people have tons of knowledge, or even just a different perspective might unlock that idea that'll get you going forward, right? And so if you've checked all the sources where you can look for answers and do your quick research, if you've talked to enough people where you're like, I'm not making headway here, what's the third option you have? And it's to, experiment and fail a lot, right? And if you walk into it saying, like, I know that I'm going to try a bunch of things that aren't going to work, but I'll get feedback and I'll understand how things work a bit more, I can then move forward. And this, can be fun. This could be really grueling, this last step. But ultimately, when you get your hands dirty, when you're trying things, when you're getting that feedback, you're like, oh, put this code in. Did it work the way that I thought it did? Yes, no, kind of. Okay, I can work with kind of. Like, where's it breaking down? Really kind of getting laser focused on solving problems just as they come up one at a time. That's how you can really accelerate your learning. It's not, reading all the materials and getting stuck there. It's not just talking to or getting 50 people into a room trying to solve this problem. That'll actually hurt you. The more people you have at one time trying to solve it, the more communication you have to manage, and the more time it's going to take to actually suss out, this is helpful, this isn't, and so you definitely need that. So I hope you thought this was awesome. I like talking about this stuff. I'll probably be talking a little bit more about things I learned in my career as a software engineer years ago, or a year ago, not that long ago. And so definitely, if you're interested in learning more about high performance or other things that I do, you can go to SeanButler.com/links. There's a bunch of free video trainings. There's a little bit about the different types of coaching I do that help people, get over burnout and really focus on building to the lives that they really want, living into their aspirations, making that big career change, making that big life change, becoming a better leader, or just dealing with confidence stuff. There's a whole bunch of different things that I help people with through the high performance process, and you should go check it out, okay? That said, take care, guys. I'll see you tomorrow, and have a great day. Go out there, live with full joy, with personal growth, and a greater impact in your community. Take care.